I fully ready? Yes, I think I'm fully ready. Right, okay, so we are going to start with the boiler, okay? So we'll work our way down. We'll start from the top. We'll start with the boiler first. I'll tell you what, I'll get something so I can stand on it, because I'm short ass. Yes, it fits. This is an Ideal Vogue Max 32 kilowatt. This is an Ideal Vogue Max. This is the most powerful domestic system boiler they do. It's the 32 kilowatt. So it's a system boiler. There's a pump inside of there, and obviously a main heat exchanger. So flow and return, blah blah blah. That's that. I won't get into it too much, but yeah, decent quality boiler. I do like fitting these. Mate, it's hard. I've got to kind of explain exactly what I fit, but let's go for it. Anyway, so it's an Ideal Vogue Max. That's the boiler, so that's the heat source. It's natural gas, so that's gas. Right, okay. So moving on from the boiler, we know what a boiler is. We've got a horizontal flue, so that goes through the roof. Let's move on from the boiler, yeah, to what we have here. No, let's just start again. Fuck that. Right, okay, so let's start again. So let's start with the boiler. This is an Ideal Vogue Max system boiler. Comes with a 12-year warranty if you're accredited, so if you've done their training course. Comes with a 12-year warranty. On the front, little display, so this one's for the temperature and that one's for on-off. On the menu, there's a few bits and pieces you can go through there to see efficiency, service mode, etc, etc. Little pressure gauge there. It's quite a neat little boiler, to be fair. So anyway, that's that. We've got a vertical flue which goes through the roof there. Let me quickly show you underneath the boiler. So underneath the boiler, we've got a magnetic filter, so you need to fit this. You need to fit that for the boiler's warranty. So that is the return. So this here is the return. A couple of valves, you can turn it off, open up the bottom, let it out. That is a magnetic filter, so that captures all of the oxidized rust. So you can imagine in your radiators, you get black water. That's where your radiator has been rusting and it's circulating around the system. So if you can imagine the water circulates, goes in through here. The idea is that this grabs that oxidized rust and holds it within this magnet here. So when you get it serviced every year, you get rid of that. So that's second port of protection, but I'll show you the other bit. So anyway, that's a magnetic filter. This here is a PRV pipe, so the pressure release pipe. So basically, if the boiler gets above 3 bar pressure, it will spit it out. So it needs somewhere to spit it out. So what it will do is it will spit it out through here. I fitted a dry trap, so a ton dish. I think that's a Talon one. Yeah, it is actually Talon one. So that's a dry ton dish. So if that's leaking, you can see through there. You can see water trickling through. Don't know if you look between the gap, so you can see if that's leaking, if the boiler starts losing pressure. But you have to put a dry trap on if you're going to do it this way. If you connect to a waste pipe, because otherwise you get all the smells coming up and through. Anyway, this pipe continues on to the condensed pipe. So the boiler, when it condenses, is basically condensation. It needs to trickle out through somewhere and comes through here and goes out into the waste pipe. Okay, so that's that. But the reason why you need to put that on indefinitely is because of the waste of the sewage. You get smells coming through, and then if the trap inside there fails, you're going to get combustion product coming out and smelling. Anyway, that's that. And then you've got a gas pipe here in the middle. Yeah, that's it really. That's your gas pipe. A couple of valves underneath. I don't know if you can see that. That's that. Right, okay, so moving on from the boiler, we're going to move on to the next section, which is the Spiral Tech low loss header. Right, okay, so these two pipes here, you've got a flow, which is the flow in to here, okay, and then you've got a return, which returns back to the boiler. So the idea is, when it flows in through here, your first bit of protection for anything, for your whole heating system, yeah, is air. So you want to get rid of air straight away. So the idea is, inside the boiler's got an AAV, which is an automatic air vent, which is meant to get rid of the air within your system. But this is pretty much your first court of protection. So it gets rid of the air first, which stops oxidation, which is rust, things like that, and what have you. So what it will do is it will circulate round here, and then back to the boiler. Circulate round here, back to the boiler. And doing so, air will travel to the top and find its way out, and then dirt will find its way down at the bottom here. So you've got a valve here, so that again, once you service it, release that, the dirt should mount up here at the bottom, because there's a neutral ground here, basically where it should drop and find its way at the bottom. Anyway, there's some technology in there. I don't know the exact ins and outs of it, but it does some magic, and it's meant to be one of the better ones. So anyway, that's what we got there. So that circulates round back to the boiler. So in effect, the boiler is actually only heating this section up here. Okay, so we're going round there like that, back to the boiler. Okay, then moving on from this section is our heating pump. So we've got a light commercial dab heating pump here. So the pump inside the boiler is not as powerful as what we need, doesn't have the flow rate we need. This is badass, so this is more what we're after, something that's going to push around the whole damn house. It's quite a big house, so we need to make sure we've got enough in there. I think in total there's about 16 radiators or something like that. Right, okay, so back to what I was saying. So the pump will now so now you've got a separate circuit. So that was one circuit for the boiler. Now this is a separate circuit for the heating for the rest of the house. So I say the heating and the hot water circuit will be going around like that. Okay, right. So that's a flow and that's a return. Okay, so that has got its own circuit there. Okay, around like that, and that has got its own circuit. Moving on, so the pump then pumps in this direction. Yeah, and then on here we've got downstairs heating, upstairs heating, and hot water. So this is for the hot water cylinder. So that pump in turn will push water in this direction. So that valve will have to open up. That will serve the upstairs heating. So that'll go along there, then go upstairs to the upstairs circuit, central heating circuit, and then this will serve the downstairs heating circuit. So we separate the two. If you see on here, well, the writing's kind of wiped off slightly, but you've got the underfloor heating, and that will be underfloor heating and downstairs circuits, because most of it's downstairs, to be fair, is underfloor heating. I think there's like one tower radiator or something that's separate. Anyway, that's those. So that pump pushes and goes into them three circuits when you call. So that motorized valve will open up, or that one, or that one. That's that. Okay, and then going back into the low loss header, yeah, is the return pipe. So all of the returns for the whole house comes back into this circuit and then recycles and then goes back through that section again. So there's no separate pipe though, yeah? So this is one thing, yeah? This is just water mixing together, all right? There's no hydraulic separation. This is just one thing of one body of water mixing together, okay? Right, so that's that. Anyway, moving on. So at the top here, this is the hot water outlet from the hot water cylinder. And that is the valve there. You see, you've got on there hot water. Turn that valve, cuts it off. So that's that. Whilst we're up here, I'll carry on. So this is the wiring center, boiler on off, and that's for the immersion. And then these are the two receivers. So one does upstairs heating and hot water, and then one will just do downstairs heating, which is that. Okay, so the top section, I think we're covered on. So now we shall move down to the next section. Right, okay, so next section. Right, okay, so this is an expansion vessel. So there's an expansion vessel inside of here for the heating. Yeah, so this is for the heating, but that is not good enough for what I need it for. There's too much water within the system, and then they all tend to end up getting damaged quite quick. So we put an extra one on to try and deal with the load we've got. Plus, because we've got underfloor heating going in as well, it's meant to be better for it. So we put an extra one in just for an extra bit of protection. Automatic air vent on the top, and then as you see here, you can obviously isolate it. Obviously, we've put a little label on it. That's that. We've got a filling valve. Well, let's move down actually. Let's move down slowly. Let's move down slowly. So we've got a filling valve here to top up the heating. That pressure gauge is wrong, so that will need to be replaced. That's annoying. Anyway, so we've got those two there. So that fills up the heating. So you turn one and turn the other, top up the heating to 1.2 to 1.5. Okay, so that's that. Moving on. I'm trying to get onto everything before the camera gets too hot. Moving on to over here. So this here, that is the cold mains coming up in here, right? Okay, so that's the cold mains coming up. I'll tell you what, I'll do that from below. Actually, it'll be easier. Let's do it from down here. Right, done with this. I can shift that out. That's like my little hop up step thing. Let's move this out of the way. Right, that goes there. Right, okay, so down here, yeah, so down here, I'll start from the bottom. So this is the incoming main coming through this section here. Right, anyway, I've given up that flipping camera now, so we're going to move on to this camera. Right, okay, so from the mains booster, so the outlet on the mains booster, we'll talk about this in a sec, comes back out, across, then down, goes into a balancing valve, so that will regulate the water pressure so it doesn't go above 3 bar pressure into this hot water cylinder. So that's the balancing valve. Then you've got your balanced cold, which is there, so that will serve the rest of the house cold. Then you've got a non-return valve and a pressure release valve here. So if it gets above a certain amount of pressure, it will spit it out, go through this ton dish, down through here. Same with there, you've got a temperature release valve there as well. So you've got a pressure release valve there, temperature release valve there, it spits it out, goes through this pipe, and then down into there. So we've got a non-return valve, so a dry trap, and if it spits water through there, we can physically see that water's coming out there. Same with the ton dish, obviously you can see if water. I noticed they've changed the design though now, so hopefully that the water doesn't spill over the side, because on a lot of them before they just spill over the side. Anyway, that's that. So that's the PRV side. That will go down, so it continues down, the pipe continues all the way down at the back and follows in and serves this cold water. So that's cold water into the hot water cylinder, and then I showed you before, that's hot water out. So that is working its way out. So that's what that is. You've got a flow and return here. So you've got your primary flow, which is there, and then you've got a return there. So inside of this hot water cylinder, you've got a coil. Let's just say it's a radiator, and there's water around it, okay? So you've got a flow and return there. The boiler heats up this cylinder by heating up the radiator that's inside of it. It's a coil, but let's just say it's a radiator inside of there. So you've got a radiator inside of there, then you've got water around it. The boiler heats up the rad, then that rad gives off heat, which then heats up the water that's inside of that hot water cylinder. That's the easiest way I can put it. So if you can imagine you're in a, in a bath, you've got a bath and you put a radiator in a bath, eventually that bath water around it will get hot. It's the easiest way I can explain it. Anyway, that's what we got there. Right, so that's that. That's the hot water cylinder covered. You've also got an immersion in there as well, and a thermostat. So if it doesn't, right, the freaking battery died, didn't it? Right, let's try this again. So you can turn the immersion on up there, which will then heat up the cylinder inside. So almost like a kettle, it heats it up using electric to heat this up. Okay, so that's if your boiler's not working, yeah, you've always got hot water because you can flick the immersion on to heat up the hot water cylinder. Right, that is that. So now let's move on to this bad boy. So this beast of a thing here. Love it, absolutely love it. It's a DAB esybox mains booster, or breaker tank, booster tank, whatever you want to call it. This here is an actual pump itself, okay? And then this here is water storage. So there's 500 litres of cold water in there, and this will serve all the bathrooms, basically. So this will serve all the bathrooms, so upstairs, downstairs, and then the loft room, this will serve. So this isn't going to the drinking water tap, but it's going to all the rest of the other outlets in the house. Okay, so let me just explain what this does, okay? So you've got water that comes in to the top of here. You've got like a ball valve, like a toilet, which, I'll tell you what, I'll just flip and open it actually and show you. So if I open that up, oh, I nearly dropped it. Inside they've got like a ball valve. That fills this whole thing up with water. It gets to the top and shuts off the valve. So then this is stored water ready to go. This is a bad boy pump. So this will pump, I can't remember if it's exactly up to, you can go up to 4.5 bar, but we've got it set at 3 bar. But this will give you a lot more flow and pressure than what you'd normally have within your house. So the idea is we install this so you can have 2 showers running at the same time. turn taps on and not get affected if someone flushes the toilet. Yeah, so basically, if you want 2 showers at the same time, even 3 showers, to be honest with you, this does. Someone turns on the tap, things like that, you'll still be alright. With the normal incoming main that you normally get, it's too diluted, so you haven't got enough stored water. So this is the bad boy. We usually fit these or accumulators, the Stuart Turner accumulators, the pumped ones, but I tend to find this style pump is a lot better. So on here we've got drain off at the bottom. This is the outlet there, like a plastic pipe. I think that's to stop the vibration. And then you've got on here, you've got a menu, so you can control if you want to go a bit higher with the boost. With the pump, if you want it more powerful, go through there and turn it up on the menus, blah blah blah. I'll show you. Do you see on there? So at the moment it's sitting at 2.7, but as soon as look, it's going to 3 bar, but as soon as it detects pressure loss within the system, it will kick in. So as soon as you open up a tap or anything like that, this will kick in and give you what you need. I'll just show you the install of it side. So I've gone on flexi. So on the waist along the back, there's actually a there's an overflow, but I've used a non-return trap and I've used a flexi, so a 40, it's a bit tight for me to show you, but a 40mm flexi connecting onto that bad boy there. And then, and then along the sides, so we've got the outlet which goes across there, and then down the back, so the outlet is connected to a flexi, I don't know if you can see, and the inlet. So the idea is, if you drain this whole thing down, if it ever needs to be serviced, we drain this whole thing down, then you can pull it out and then disconnect it. If it's hard piped, it might be a bit of a struggle to do. Shall I show you how this bad boy works? Let me show you how this bad boy works. So we'll go upstairs and turn the taps on. I'll tell you what, we'll turn it off first. Right, so we'll turn the mains booster off first. So we'll turn that off, that off. Oh, these little things are dropping off now, no typical. Pop that up there. And then we'll turn that on. There, like so. So now, the mains booster is completely off, yeah? And it's bypassing it, so it's going up through there and then down. If it was to go that way, it would go through the mains booster. So let me show you. Right, how this works. Let's do this. Right, so let me show you how this bad boy works. I'm gonna test it with it off. So at the moment it's off, it's bypassed, it's going through there. I'm gonna show you what it's like with it off. So if I go through here, turn. So that's the hot water, because the cold side is like that. So that's the hot water on. We'll turn that on there, like that. So that's the hot and cold water on. We'll leave that running. Then, see, no one's living in this house at the moment. It's getting ripped out. So, we'll flush the toilet there. Turn that tap on. Turn this shower on. Right, so that shower's on. So far, so good. This is all good. It's working. Okay. And we'll go upstairs. There's another bathroom there, but that's been ripped out at the minute, so that's not in use. Oh. So if we go up here, I'm going to turn that tap on there. So you can see already the water pressure's not great there. I'll flush this toilet on there. Right, okay, so this is what we got with the shower valve at the minute. It's pretty much piddling out. In fact, look, there's nothing there. It's completely died out, look. And then there. So that's with the toilet flush tap on. There's nothing coming out of that shower head. Right, I'm gonna run downstairs and quickly show you. So that I'm gonna run downstairs quickly. Show you with it on, so. Woo. Sharon, that's having it downstairs still. you can see, that shower's still on, that. Let's turn the mains booster on and show you the difference. Kitchen tap's still having it. So let's turn this bad boy on. Turn that one off. Right, so that's kicked in now. So this blue pump's on. Kitchen tap's having it. Downstairs tap's on. Downstairs shower's on. Flush the toilet. We go upstairs. We go upstairs. That tap's on, flowing correctly. That shower's on. Flush the toilet to make sure. But we've still got decent flow there. Shower's on, actually working. Before it won't even flipping working. And so all of it's running and you've still got a lot of water going through. So you've got a toilet on, a shower on, basin on, kitchen tap on, another basin downstairs. Oh, flipping hell, another shower, another toilet flush. But yeah, there you go. Better turn this off. Oh. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Obviously, you can make your pipework bigger coming up. So we've connected onto the old existing, but you can make your pipework bigger if you want. But that would easily do 3 showers, no problem. Because don't forget, I've turned everything on. So I've turned the toilet on, the basin on, that on, and the kitchen tap is still having it as well. So the kitchen tap's proper going for it. You see here. Right, that's it. So that is what this beast does. Gives you what you can't have just off of a normal water mains. And that's what we're trying to give. Anyone that's interested in these stickers, got these stickers done. Got a little barcode there so it can be scanned. And it takes you straight to our Instagram. Right, proper boring video for those that already know about this system. But if you don't already know about it, that is what this does. Okay, sweet. Hope you've enjoyed. Oh yeah, hold on, one more thing. Little benchmark in that we put in this little holder there. Can't think of anything else. I'm looking around, can't see anything else. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope this has taught someone something. Like I say, for those that already know about this sort of stuff, this will be boring, but for those that don't, I hope this has helped, because at one time I didn't know what any of this was at one time when I first started off. So for me, this will be ridiculously helpful. Hopefully I've explained everything in proper England's. So yeah, in English hopefully, because yeah, there's some technical terms for things, but yeah, come on. Anyway, sweet.